Welcome to t-test. This video provides an overview of the t-test, instructions for processing the test run, and guidance on documenting the results. The t-test compares two groups of continuous variables. The groups don't need to be the same size. In other words, the control group may have 30 members, and the treatment group may have 45 members. The t-test will still work. Suppose we have two groups, Group 1 and Group 2. The t-test will compute one comparison. It'll compute the mean for Group 1 and the mean for Group 2. It'll then compare the group means to each other and compute a p-value, which will tell us if there's a statistically significant difference between the means. If the p-value is less than or equal to 0.05, we'd say that there's a statistically significant difference between the means of the two groups, suggesting that the treatment was effective. Alternatively, if the p-value is greater than 0.05, then we'd say that there is no statistically significant difference between the means of the two groups, suggesting that the treatment was ineffective. For this example, suppose we recruited patients with systolic blood pressure between 130 and 140, and we randomly assigned them to two groups. Group 1 will be given antihypertensive drug A, and Group 2 will be given antihypertensive drug B. After 30 days, the researcher will record the systolic blood pressure of each patient in both groups. From there, the researcher runs the t-test, which computes the mean systolic blood pressure for those in Group 1 who took drug A, and the mean systolic blood pressure for those in Group 2 who took drug B. The t-test will also compute the p-value to determine if one group statistically significantly outperformed the other. The researcher gathered the systolic blood pressure from the 30 participants in Group 1 who took drug A and the 30 participants in Group 2 who took drug B. Begin by running the Excel DIY statistics file. Select the t-test tab. Then delete the sample data. Highlight columns A and B and press the delete key. Next, you can enter the data manually, starting with the variable names at A1 and B1, followed by each number. Alternatively, you can copy and paste the data into Excel from another file. The documentation template provides guidance in composing thorough and organized results. Describe the study, the research question. The research team wants to compare the effectiveness of two antihypertensive drugs. Describe the sample size, the N for each group. A total of 60 participants with systolic blood pressure between 130 and 140 were randomly assigned to two groups. 30 participants took drug A, and the other 30 took drug B. Describe the mean and standard deviation of each group. After 30 days, those who took drug A had a mean systolic blood pressure of 120.37, standard deviation 3.17. Those who took drug B had a mean systolic blood pressure of 122.37, standard deviation 2.92. Describe the statistical significance, the p-value. The t-test rendered a p-value of 0.01, indicating that there is a statistically significant difference between these two groups. Finally, describe the implication of the p-value. These results suggest that drug A significantly outperformed drug B in lowering systolic blood pressure. If you've written your responses as complete sentences, as a final step, you can remove the headers and close up the space between sentences. This will render a viable results section. This concludes this video.